Hi, and welcome back to This Week in Voice, a special bonus edition. So right now we're between season 3, which just concluded a couple of weeks ago with Mark Cuban as the season finale guest, and season 4, which kicks off August 22nd. We felt the need to convene a special episode of This Week in Voice because we have some breaking news and a special announcement. And to make that announcement, I want to introduce my guest, Roger Kibbe. Roger, say hello.
Hi, everyone. Real excited to talk to you about Bixby today. Bradley, great to be on the show. We've known each other for a couple of years. Very brief background on myself. I'm a developer evangelist for Viv Labs. That's the engine behind Bixby 2. We may get into the history of that a little bit later. Relatively new, been here about 4 months. Did my own voice consulting business and the voice startup before that, and then a long background in retail tech and tech strategy, and then consulting for giant companies and small companies there. But super excited to be here today and talk to everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Roger, for joining us. And so with voice, up until this point, it's been Amazon this, Google that. Really, at first it was Amazon this, that, and the other.
Right.
And it turned into Amazon this, Google that, Google this, Amazon that. And now, really one of the big storylines of 2019 is how that is changing. And it's changing to expand and accommodate more players, more competition. It's a beautiful thing for everybody. Samsung is a huge part of that. Samsung's about to make a huge push. Tell us what y'all are doing. What's coming our way? What is Samsung wanting to make sure everybody knows about? What's cooking?
Sure. So we introduced Bixby 2 in last November, but I'd say, and that's based upon the Viv Labs acquisitions, all new technology. We've been relatively quiet since then. And what's coming is we're launching our marketplace, so our capsule marketplace. What's a capsule? Think it's an Alexa skill or a Google action, but the Bixby version of that. Now let third-party developers list their capsules and then let end users enable them. So super excited to be doing that. That is coming this year. And we're going to run a couple programs to enable that. And we'll get into some more details, but really briefly, high level, we're going on the road for a road show and a bunch of all-day hackathons. Going to be real fun. And then we have a premier developer program, partner program, that we're setting up and enabling. And really the idea is to get developers excited for Bixby. When I think about that, you talked about that, I'll call it the duopoly in voice, or I like to say it's a horse race and there's, the 1 and 2 position. Well, we're in the 3rd position, but we're going to be running real fast up behind, and we're a fast horse. But the analogy I like to say is that's great that we're a horse, but who the jockey is? It's third-party developers. Right? And we're going to need those third-party developers to be that great jockey to get us to running alongside those front 2 and vying for the lead there.
Well, if you're a horse, maybe Samsung is Secretariat or something. Does that mean Apple is Mr. Ed?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure there's lots of good analogies we can make there.
Yeah. No, I would have to call Apple Mr. Ed if we're going with that metaphor, but I'll save that for another time. So, you and I have spoken. We have known each other a while, and it's just been a recurring conversation with people in voice. Boy, I wish I had been there at the beginning. A fantastic article came out earlier this week in CNN about Nick Schwab, who was one of the first people to take advantage of when Amazon rolled out a lot of their Alexa developer program stuff and their tools and this, that, or the other. He was one of the first Alexa champions, if not the first. And here's an article in CNN earlier this week that shows him with his Tesla saying, his development for Alexa paid for his Tesla, paid for his new house, paid for this, that, and the other. And it connects the dots between identifying opportunity, acting on opportunity, and receiving rewards. Here we are again in 2019 with another ground floor opportunity. This gets me going. This excites me to see what you're doing. I love it, and I hope it comes across, because for developers, for enthusiasts, for people who are simply watching and paying attention and wanting some way to get involved, wondering if they missed the boat, how do I, do this? Along comes Samsung. So you've got a website, which we'll link to in the show notes, that has a lot of information. You're going on the road with these workshops that you're doing and these hackathons. You've got the ability for people to sign up for information and to get registered as Samsung developers. People really need to be doing all of those things so that they can evaluate this opportunity for themselves, learn the key differences, the subtle differences, and the bigger differences between what Samsung is doing versus Amazon and Google, and to attack. That's the way I feel about it. And shoot, I love what you're doing. Maybe as a next step, tell us, you alluded to it about how you're going on the road with these hackathons. What are the locations? What are the dates? Where can people hook up with you and the rest of the Samsung team?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're going on the road in June. So and we'll be 3 dates to remember: June 8th in San Francisco, June 15th in LA, and June 22nd in New York. These are all-day hackathons. I'll be there. A lot of my colleagues. It'll be a lot of fun. And really, the idea is, a chance to sit there and immerse yourself and learn Bixby. We'll be there coaching you. We'll have some cool prizes. We're Samsung. We have some pretty cool things to give away. And really, it's just to bring developers up to speed and understand how to build for Bixby. And I think so well put. We definitely live and breathe by the idea this is such an amazing ground floor opportunity to get involved there. So that's the hackathon. And the other program is Bixby Premier Developer. So this is our partnership program. This is selective. We're really looking for people who have already done something pretty amazing with Alexa or Google and are interested in joining us. We'll help you port that experience over to Bixby. I'll let you leverage some of the unique Bixby experiences there, give you some white glove support there. We have loaner devices, something that may be really interesting to many people. So one of our co-founders is Adam Shire. So Adam has 2 successful exits in the voice arena. So one, he co-founded Siri and then sold to Apple and worked for Apple for a couple of years and then left to create the next conversational AI platform and launched and founded Viv Labs and then sold out to Samsung. Why I mention that is Adam's going to be recording a series of videos or maybe do some podcasts around entrepreneurship in voice. I don't know if there's anyone else who's got 2 really big successful exits in the voice arena. If I was interested in voice entrepreneurship, I'd sure want to listen to him. So that's something exclusive to that partner program that we'll be doing.
And we'll be bringing Adam to This Week in Voice, by the way, to speak with him in due time. And I'm looking forward to that, just to get his perspective on, his background as you were describing, but also, his perspective on looking at these different opportunities. Obviously, he's been quite good at evaluating opportunities in the voice space. He can probably share some insight with everybody else, and we look forward to having that. So let me ask you, Roger, so, we've established what you're doing, when you're doing it, why you're doing it. I want to ask the question, because I don't know the answer. And I'm curious, one of the things with the Alexa ecosystem and the Google ecosystem has been the topic of monetization. Mm-hmm. And, there's been a whole progression to where, Alexa, it's monetized from the standpoint of you can have in-skill purchasing. It's also monetized from the standpoint of there's this sort of black box rewards program. There's some good and there's some good things about what's going on, and then there's some things that could be further developed. From Samsung's point of view, as you're launching this program, Tell us how Samsung views monetization for developers.
Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna hedge that a little bit to say we're not fully gonna reveal everything we're doing
Okay.
wise there. We have some ambitious plans, but believe me when I say it is top of mind about how to enable that. I think, to my mind, two of the biggest challenges in voice are one, monetization, and two, discovery, actually, there. And if you could bear with, I'd love to talk about our underlying tech, not so much how it solves the monetization issue, but where I think it's going to help the discovery issue.
Fire away.
So, yeah, so just some points I want to make. So our underlying tech, so one, when you're developing for Bixby, it's model driven instead of code driven. So very different than the other assistants. And what we think that does enables you to do, see, the model lets you write all the plumbing. Every voice application needs a bunch of plumbing to just get it working. So you write that model and it takes care of all that. And then you can really focus your time and energy and effort as a developer on that kind of unique business logic and that thinking that makes your voice experience unique from anything else there. But as far as discovery, so we think that invocation names, those are a relic of the App Store. Yes, we're going to launch with them, but we actually believe and are working on technology so you can just no open X and then talk to it. Just naturally ask your voice assistant, "Hi Bixby, blah, blah, blah," and you'll get an answer. And we also believe that third-party capsules should have the same footing as first-party capsules. So in the sense of a third-party capsule should have just the same opportunity to answer that as something developed internally here. And that extends not only to that idea of answering a query, but also to our developer tools. So I sit right next to the team that does the capsule development, and I can tell you the tools they use are the same things that you can go and download from bixbydevelopers.com today. And we think that's really unique and a differentiator from our competition. And the last thing technology-wise I'm just going to throw in there is multimodal. So yeah, I think there's great voice-only experiences or tools that you build that. I look at multimodal as a bit of the icing on the cake. And we're Samsung. We know screens really, really well. And so multimodal is really important to us. So we have some really great tools to build a multimodal experience there. It's not an add-on. It's built integral into the platform, those multimodal tools. So I think those are pretty powerful.
No doubt. And when you talk about discovery, you're talking about monetization too.
Yeah.
Those two things are obviously linked together because you can have all the rewards or pay people a gazillion bucks or let them charge a gazillion bucks or whatever it is you want to do. And if you've got a nonsensical marketplace where no one can find anything and it's just a cluster, it doesn't make any difference. So hearing you talk about the discovery aspect is key.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I mean, that's one of the great challenges, right? And I think at a meta level, the voice industry as a whole needs to address this challenge and this issue. And I'm really confident that we can, us and everyone else in there. I respect all the other platforms. I think we're doing great. We have some ways to go do there. I guess the other thing I wanted to talk about is kind of Samsung's reach, which I think helps that discovery. So we're the number one smartphone manufacturer in the world. We're the number one TV manufacturer in the world. We're number one in US appliances. We have a huge market share in portable speakers and automotive through our Herman subsidiary. I mean, that's just massive reach. And if you add all those up, it means we're going to be shipping 500 million Bixby-enabled devices a year, which just when I joined, that number just blew my mind. And frankly, is one of the reasons why I wanted to join this team is that huge opportunity there across all those devices. I think we're as well or better positioned than pretty much anyone else to kind of take over the home as far as your television, your appliance, your phone, other devices there, all working for kind of a more ubiquitous kind of voice experience where you walk around and you can talk to your TV, you can talk to your appliance, and all of these things will help you get make day-to-day life easier to my mind, that's where and it's kind of big. The lowercase assistant becomes the uppercase assistant. And, we're on our way to doing that. There's a long way to go there. But part of that is having a lot of devices out there that people buy. Most people, if you looked around, I'll bet you have a Samsung product in your house.
Yeah, got one right here.
There you go.
That's there's no doubt Samsung is going to have a unique opportunity because it has a unique entry point to the marketplace, to the market. And whether you take advantage of it or not, we'll find out, but you're off to a great start. I want to ask you sort of, in closing for me, what I often will ask somebody, if we were on the Voice First Roundtable or something, or if I'm just interviewing them, 6 to 9 months from now, so we're in May 2019. Say when the clock strikes January 1, 2020, and then even a year from now, where does Samsung want to be? Samsung is doing all of these things. They're rolling out all these tools, all these opportunities for developers saying, hey, come learn, come do more with Bixby, like the sign behind you. Where do you want to be as a unit, as a position in the marketplace by the time 6 months to a year rolls by?
Yeah, great question, Bradley. And these future questions are always a little tricky, but I'll say, so first off, we want to have empowered developers, and that's the first thing we're doing. I talked earlier about how important that was. We can be the racehorse, but we don't have the jockey, those developers, it's not going to work. So empower them and let them build experiences and let them have those experiences in a marketplace. So for sure there. The other thing I think that's important is, yes, it's a duopoly now. You hear Google, you hear Alexa. We want to be part of the conversation, right? We want people to be talking about, yes, Google and Alexa and Samsung and what is Bixby doing, and have a significant part, be a significant part of that conversation. We're still at the beginning in a lot of ways of what our product plans are and what we're going to do, and I can't reveal a tenth of them, but I can say they're pretty aggressive and exciting. So end of the year, we've empowered developers. We have a marketplace going. We're part of the conversation. A year from now, I don't know. We'll say Google and Amazon are looking a little nervously behind them or beside them.
We're already doing that. So
yeah, at what we're doing and things. And because I think as I said, I think the whole voice industry is advancing so fast. I expect them to get better at what they do. We'll get better at what we do. I would just love not only certainly part of the conversation, but I'd like to see voice assistants and this just be part of a more mainstream culture. I think we're still mainly at the early adopter stage or that and things. How do we get some of those, middle to late adopters actually trying this out and using these? I think that'd be a big win for the industry. We can be definitely part of it. Everyone will be part of that. That's what I would really, really love to see.
No, I love that. And I think it's definitely, I think it's obvious to me, when people are developing for Alexa, they don't even, it's subconscious, but they're only thinking through the lens of the hardware that Amazon has provided. When they're developing for Google Assistant, they're only thinking about the hardware that Google has made available or the place the Google Assistant shows up. Once we start to have more entrance into the space, and Samsung will be a huge one because of Samsung's dominance with hardware, it's going to be interesting to see how developers take advantage of and conceive of new marriages and unique marriages and partnerships between software, the voice experience, and the hardware you're marrying it up to. Not every voice experience has to just be this ubiquitous hitting all, hit Amazon, hit Google, hit Samsung. There will be more opportunities to do unique things and have, true marriages, between software and hardware, just as more opportunities present themselves. I think that'll be fun to watch. So if you're paying attention to what Samsung is doing, you've been listening to the show, you've been watching on YouTube. I've been speaking with Roger Kibbe, who's a developer evangelist for Samsung. You need to go to the website. We're going to link to that. It's bixbydevelopers.com. Is that right?
So that Bixby Developers, you can get started today. Download the IDE.
That's the website, right?
Yep, that's our website to download and start today. And then we'll give you a couple more links specifically to sign up for that hackathon.
Okay.
That's coming in June, the 3 hackathons in June, and then the Premier Partners program there. So Bixby Developers, go there today, get started, try it out. I think it's a really amazing platform, and we'll have those other links there. I just, thank you. I'd love to keep in touch with people. I'm best reached on Twitter, Roger Kibbe at ROGERKIBBE there. Go out and build something amazing in Bixby. We've talked about, I'll go back to that, and you articulated this well better than I can, what an amazing ground floor opportunity it is. So I'd love for you to go check it out.
Sure. And the great thing to think about is, just to mention Amazon again, the initial people who took advantage of that opportunity, Amazon really had no choice but to evangelize those people and to trumpet those people, to champion those people and give them more opportunities. You think it's going to be any different from Samsung? You're one of
exactly the same thinking.
Yeah, if you're one of those people who shows up and delivers something phenomenal, something that turns people's heads and says, shoot, I didn't know that was possible, you're going to have the whole weight of Samsung singing your praises. What a beautiful thing that is. Roger, thank you for this time today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, love to see a bunch of your listeners out there at those hackathons and things. I'll be there, and it'll be a lot of fun. So thanks a lot, Bradley. Really enjoyed our conversation today.
I appreciate you, Roger. We're going to be spreading the word, making sure people understand what y'all are doing so they don't miss out. Thank you for this time.
Perfect. Absolutely. Thanks.
For This Week in Voice, special Samsung edition between Season 3 and Season 4. Thank you for listening as well as watching on YouTube. Until next time.